Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, the topic of our today's discussion is brucellosis, which is a zoonotic disease. Brucellosis is one of the major bacterial zoonotic disease, and in humans, it is also known as angulant fever, Malta fever, or also known as Mediterranean fever. It is transmitted to man by direct or indirect contact with infected animals. It is caused by different species of the Brucella group of organisms, and clinically it is characterized by intermittent or irregular febrile attacks with profuse sweating, arthritis, and an enlarged spleen. This disease may last for several days, months, and occasionally even for years. Brucellosis is both a severe human disease and a disease of animals, and it got serious economic consequences. Now we will discuss the problem statement. Brucellosis is a recognized public health problem with worldwide distribution. It is endemic wherever cattle, goats, pigs, and sheep they are raised in large numbers. The important endemic areas for brucellosis exist in Mediterranean zones, Europe, Central Asia, Mexico, and South America. This disease, however, is now rare in most European countries, in North America, and in Australia. The prevalence of human brucellosis is difficult to estimate because many cases they remain undiagnosed, either because they are inapparent cases or because the physicians in many countries they are unfamiliar with this disease. Now we will discuss the epidemiological determinants. First of all, we will discuss agent factors. Agent. Brucellosis is caused by gram-negative, rod-shaped, non-motile, non-sporing, and intracellular coccobacilli of the genus Brucella. There are 4 species of Brucella that can infect man. These 4 species include Brucella melitensis, Brucella abortus, Brucella suis, and Brucella canis. Brucella melitensis is the most virulent and invasive species. It usually infects goats and occasionally sheep. Reservoir of infection. Main reservoir of human infection are cattle, sheep, goats, swine, buffaloes, horses, and dogs. In animals, the disease can cause abortion, premature expulsion of the fetus, or death. Cross-infection can often occur between the animal species. The infected animals they excrete the brucella in urine, milk, placenta, uterine, and vaginal discharges, particularly during a birth or during abortion. The animals they may remain infected for life. Host factors. Human brucellosis is predominantly a disease of adult males. Farmers, shepherds, butchers, abattoir workers, veterinarians, and laboratory workers, they are particularly at special risk because of occupational exposure. Immunity follows the infection. Now we will discuss the environmental factors. Brucellosis is most prevalent under conditions of advanced domestication of animals in the absence of correspondingly advanced standard of hygiene. Overcrowding of herds, high rainfall, lack of exposure to sunlight, unhygienic practices in milk and meat production, they all favor the spread of brucellosis. The infection, it can travel long distances in milk and dust. The environment of a cowshed may be heavily infected. The organism can survive for weeks or months in favorable conditions of water, urine, feces, damp soil, and manure. Dear students, now we will discuss the mode of transmission. Transmission of brucellosis is usually from infected animals to man. There is no evidence of transmission of infection from man to man. The main routes of spread of brucellosis is via contact infection, foodborne infection, and airborne infection. Now we will discuss each of these routes in detail. Contact infection. It is the most common mode of transmission. Infection occurs by direct contact with infected tissues, blood, urine, vaginal discharge, aborted fetuses, and especially placenta. Infection takes place through abraded skin, mucosa or conjunctiva, and also known as mucocutaneous route. This type of spread is largely occupational in nature and occurs in persons involved in handling livestock and slaughterhouse workers. Next comes the foodborne infection. It occurs indirectly by the ingestion of raw milk or dairy products from infected animals. Fresh raw vegetables, they can also carry the infection if grown on soil containing the manure from infected farms. Water contaminated with the excreta of infected animals, they may also serve as a source of infection. Airborne infection. The environment of a cowshed, it may be very heavily infected. So very few people living under and very few people living in such an environment, they can escape inhalation of infected dust or aerosols. So brucellosis may be inhaled in aerosol form in slaughterhouses and also in laboratories. So these infections, they are notified as occupational. Incubation period. The incubation period of this disease is highly variable. Usually it is 1 to 3 weeks, but it may be as long as 6 months or even more. Now we will discuss the pattern of disease. Brucella infection in man can vary from an acute febrile illness to a chronic low-grade ill-defined disease, so lasting for several days, months, and occasionally even for years. The acute phase is characterized by sudden onset of illness with swinging pyrexia. The fever may be up to 40 to 41 centigrade with rigors and sweating. Arthralgia, which is usually monoarticular and generally it involves larger joints, that is hips, knees, shoulder and ankle. Low back pain, headache, insomnia, and small firm splenomegaly and hepatomegaly. Leukopenia is there with relative lymphocytosis. The most striking aspect of the clinical picture is basically the severity of illness and the absence of clinical signs. The acute phase subsides within 2 to 3 weeks. If the patient is treated with tetracyclines, the symptoms may disappear quickly, but the infection, since being intracellular, it may persist, giving rise to subacute or relapsing disease. This picture is describing the different facts of brucellosis which we discussed in the previous slides. It is showing you the mode of transmission, that is the ingestion of unpasteurized milk, cheese, or raw dairy products. Brucellosis can also occur via direct puncture of skin of butchers and farmers, and it can also occur via inhalation. The clinical features which we discussed in the previous slide, they are also again given over here. These include fever, weakness, malaise, and different complications which occur as a result of brucellosis. They include arthritis, osteomyelitis, meningitis, etc. Diagnosis. Diagnosis is established by isolation of the organism from cultures of blood, bone marrow, exudates, and biopsy specimens during the acute phase of the disease, and also by serological tests. Control of brucellosis includes control of brucellosis in animals and control of brucellosis in humans. However, the most rational approach for preventing the human brucellosis is basically the control and eradication of infection from animal reservoirs. And this control of infection in animal reservoirs includes the measures of testing and slaughter, vaccination, and hygienic measures. Now we will discuss each of these measures in detail. Test and slaughter. Case finding is done by mass surveys. Skin tests, they are available. The complement fixation test is also recommended. Those animals infected with brucellosis, they are slaughtered and with full compensation paid to farmers. This is the only satisfactory solution aimed at eradication of the disease. Vaccination. Vaccine of Brucella abortis strain 19 is commonly used for young animals. A compulsory vaccination program for all heifers in a given community on a yearly basis can considerably reduce the rate of infection. Systematic vaccination for a period of 7 to 10 years, it may result in elimination of disease. Hygienic measures. Hygienic measures include provision of a clean sanitary environment for animals, sanitary disposal of urine and feces, veterinary care of animals, and health education of all those workers who are occupationally involved. Now we will discuss the control of brucellosis in humans. The control of brucellosis in humans involves the preventive measures which include early diagnosis and treatment, pasteurization of milk, protective measures, and vaccination. Now we will discuss each of these measures in detail. Early diagnosis and treatment. In uncomplicated cases, the antibiotic of choice is tetracycline. For adults in the acute stage, the dose is 500 mg every 6 hours for about 3 weeks. However, in patients with skeletal or other complications, intramuscular streptomycin in dose of 1 gram daily in addition to tetracycline usually achieves a cure. Pasteurization of milk is a useful preventive measure which renders the milk and milk products safe for consumption. Boiling of milk is effective when pasteurization is not available or possible. Protective measures. The aim of protective measures is to prevent direct contact with infected animals. Persons at risk, especially the farmers, shepherds, milkmen, they should observe high standards of personal hygiene. They should exercise care in handling and disposal of placenta, discharges, and feces from an aborted animal. Exposed areas of the skin should be washed and soiled clothing should be renewed. Vaccination. Human live vaccine of Brucella abortus strain 19BA is available. Dear students, this slide is showing you the different signs and symptoms of brucellosis in humans and the important preventive and control measures in humans, and these have been discussed in details already in the previous slides. Kindly go through this slide. This concludes our today's lecture. Thank you very much.